Hey everyone, it's Brandy and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about all the books that I plan on reading throughout the month of March. I have about 10 to 15 books on my TBR at the moment. I might add more later depending on how my reading goes, or if I decide that I want to read something else during the month. Before I get into the actual books, I will say that I'm not going to talk about any descriptions about the books, just because I have so many, one, and then two, I have really been liking going into my books not really knowing much, and I feel like all the ones that I have to talk about have been mentioned a lot lately, so you guys have probably already heard about them. And just in case you haven't, I will make sure to definitely talk more about what each book is about in my wrap up at the end of the month. So moving on to the books that I plan on reading, the first one is Making Sense by Lila Rose. This is a book that I have for review. This review is due on the 8th of the month, so it's going to be one of the first books that I am focusing on finishing. The next book that I have on my TBR is The Last Samsara by Kristen Ciccarelli. I'm actually already reading this one. I started this because I'm buddy reading this one with Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany. At the moment, I am currently about 60 pages in, so I've read that much and I have all of this left. So now I'm going to move on to the books that I got in subscription boxes. Now, I haven't talked about this yet because I haven't done a wrap up, but just so you guys know, I did end up getting to the books that came in my February sub boxes. So I decided to move them over to my March TBR because they're books that I really want to get to, and I don't want to, put them off too long. The first one of those is Unearthed by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, and this is the book that I got in my January Page Habit White and Quarterly box. And the other book that was on my February TBR from my sub boxes that I didn't get to was The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. And the last book that I have from a sub box came in my February boxes. I actually got the same book in both of my Outcrate and Fairy Loot box. If you guys have not seen both of those unboxings yet, make sure to go to my channel to check those out. But that is The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert, and I figured I would go ahead and read this one. Now I'm going to get to all the rest of the books that I have on my TBR. One of those books that was on my February TBR was Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. I wanted to read this one last month because the sequel / finale to this duology was coming out at the end of February, so I wanted to get that done in time to read the sequel as soon as it came out. And I was also reading it as part of a buddy / group read for a new Facebook group that I'm a part of. But with all my other reading that I was doing in February, I didn't end up getting around to this one, and I really want to reread it. So I just decided, like I said, to move it over to my March TBR. And I think when I get my credit in a couple of days, I think by the time this video goes up, that's the day I will be getting my Audible credit. Then I will get this audiobook so I can, listen to it instead of physically reading it this time around, just to have a different experience. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do for this one. And the next book that's on my TBR to go along with that is Daughter of the Siren Queen by Trisha Levenseller. I want to get to both of these this month so I can knock out a duology, and I can say I finished a series this year, and that will be amazing. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I heard really amazing things from people who read an arc of this book, so I can't wait to get to it. The next book that's on my list is The Bells by Danielle Clayton. This was a February release that I didn't have time to get to, so I just moved it over to my March TBR because, like I said, really want to read it. Have heard amazing things about this book. The next book that I have on my TBR is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This has been on my January and February TBR. Have not gotten to it, but I really want to make this a priority this month, especially since I got this book last March, and it would be really nice if I could get to it before the month is over, so I could have read it within a year of getting it. So that would be nice. This book is huge, but I don't want to rush it. I really just want to sit and take my time with it. So it might be one of the last books that I pick up this month. So the next couple books I have on my TBR are pre-orders. The first one of those being Skip Beat Volume 40 by Yoshiki Nakamura. The end of the last one kind of left off on a cliffhanger, so I'm really looking forward to seeing where the story goes from there. And the next pre-order that I have on my TBR is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I am so excited about this one. This is a book that everyone that has had an early copy has been praising. I have not seen one negative review about this book from anyone who has had an early copy. And I know it's bound to happen once a lot of people get this book, but everyone I feel like that I have seen that I feel like can be really cynical towards books and really can tear a book apart have just absolutely love this book, and I cannot wait to read it because it just sounds absolutely amazing and I can't wait. And the last 3 books that I have on my TBR are all part of the series, and then the final book is also a pre-order. So that is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, as well as Gemina by the same authors, and then Obsidio, which is supposed to be released on March 13th. So I plan on rereading both of these. I have read and I believe reread both of these at least twice since I have read the first one. I started the series, I believe last year. I read them for the first time. It was either last year, it might have been in 2016 when I read Illuminae for the first time, because I believe I read it right after I went to BookCon, which was 2016. And yeah, I just absolutely loved it. And then Gemina came out and I loved it too. I gave both of these 5 out of 5 stars, and I'm really looking forward to rereading both of these. And I have read the physical copies as well as listened to both of the audiobooks, and I do still own both of the audiobooks. So I think I'm gonna do what I did with my second time reading these, which is to listen to the audiobook while flipping through the physical copies, just so I can have that full experience, and I'm just really looking forward to it. I have pre-ordered, like I said, the final book in this series, as well as pre-ordered the audiobook. So I think once I get that, and once I get through both of these, I'm actually going to do that with the third and final book in this series for my first read. So I will be like reading through it and listening to the audiobook, which I will say will slow me down, because the audiobooks, when you're listening to people talk, take a lot longer for me to get through than me physically reading. But you have such a different experience listening to the audiobooks, and I think it's just so amazing, and I can't wait. I'm so sad this series is going to be ending, but I cannot wait to get my hands on that final book. It's going to be concluding, and I'm going to have the whole thing, and it's just going to be one that I will reread forever and ever and ever, and I can't wait. And I'm just gushing on and on about these books because I love them so much. Anyway, I'm going to stop. So those are all the books that I am currently planning on reading in March. Like I said at the beginning, I probably might add a few books here and there within this just to kind of break up my reading. I think I might have forgotten about a book I had for review, but I haven't received any more information about that yet, so I don't know for sure when exactly that will be or when that review is expected of me. But at the moment, these are the ones that I have set in stone to read. And yeah, it's a pretty heavy fantasy sci-fi month for me. I'm really excited about this month, and I hope I get lots and lots of reading done. If you guys have read any of these books, let me know what you thought about them, and let me know what you plan on reading this month. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again in the next one. Bye.